How are we getting on today, folks? How are you all doing on this glorious spring morning? Absolutely smashing. Nice frost this morning. So whenever that clears up and that and the weather settles properly, we'll be cutting turf. So that we won't feel that now. I'd say in the next week or 10 days, if the weather sticks, we'll be motoring. So give you an update here. We have a bit to do yet before we get cutting, but looks worse than what it is. John is grinding out some old metal there. That's the old battery box and that. Pretty stuff. I'm on the welder today. I've got some welding done in here. A couple of cracks and that welded up. I'll probably put a plate on that as well, I'd say. So after today now, a lot of the welding will be done, and it's all cleaned down as well. All wire wheeled and that. Well, all the work to do. Give the rest of it a quick clean up. I won't stay long here now because a bit too much noise, but yeah, soon be painting the chassis and that now. Well, we've another choice, but I get paint anyways because it's running on late and we need to keep moving. Today is Monday. I was here yesterday for a while, Sunday. I'm not a real big fan of the Sunday work if I can help it, but I got some just kind of dirty welding done underneath there, just to stick with it and keep it moving. But yeah, I'm going to get me cell organised here, and we'll catch up to you when we're welding. Now, so you've seen a little clip there. What I was at was preheating. Head is black. Preheating this here where I'm going welding, and I just put a small run of weld there just to fill the crack, because what happens when you're welding old steel like that and it's cracked is, like, down through the years, all the oil and grease and everything will be kind of seeped in through the crack, and there'll be stuff boiling out in from behind. So I just put a light kind of run of weld along it just to fill that up, just ground it down roughly again, and we'll get it filled up. Preheat is just to kind of reduce the stress around it when you're welding it, so you're not just loading a heap of heat into your weld. So if you heat around it, should just take the stress away, and ideally again do it again when you're after welding. Now, I'm not a professional welder by any means, but I believe that is the right thing to be doing. So I'll set you up here and give you a flip of the welding. Now, I don't know what way the camera picked up the welding, but we're getting there. This vertical weld might look too neat, but I'm not used to vertical welding, and just kind of got it in 1 or 2 passes, so it worked out fairly good. A few more welds there. It's nice when you're welding flat and you have a weld cleaned out and gouged, because you can just turn up the welder and burn it in. And that's that welder we have. There's an ESAB, I think it's 280 amp, but there's great power and great settings in it, and you can also select your presets. You can save them and go back into them then again. John, you have it set fine-tuned for certain metal, and like if you're doing vertical weld, you want to turn it back, just click it back, and when you're doing other welds then when you want to burn in, just turn it up again to your preset. So it's a great job. So getting there where John is at, this here floor and the battery box and all that going on here. The old floor is cut out, thrown around there somewhere. It's rotten anyway, so new sheet of 4mm cut out, ready to be tacked in. So now it's a day later. We're making progress slowly but surely. Back to the welding. A couple of plates welded in there, and that after what he seen me welding that in. Didn't show the plates because the GoPro decided it didn't want to turn on for the last day or so, but I don't know, took the battery out for a while and put it back in. It's back working again. But that's kind of the gist of it anyways. Some stick welding done there, or arc welding, when the welder decided to run out of gas or whatever. So that's kind of it. This coat is actually rust proofing, a rust converter. You just paint it on, and it's whatever chemical reaction or whatever, and it should stop the rust and kill the rust basically. Yeah, so that's it. We were masking up here, busy morning masking, and yesterday evening, and sanding and that kind of crack. There's actually one spot over there I need to sand inside that diesel tank. Don't have much masking to do on the back, just a few pipes. Some people would just blow the paint over them, but we're going masking them because it just looks that bit better. Pipes in there and that stuff, I'm not going to mask them, because once the bin is on, they will not be seen. We've that jumble of pipes up there masked. Jump up here and show you. Tin foil. Great job for doing pipes. Just wrap it around it and it just clings to it. Super job. So yeah, I just need to sand this here, and that one final blowdown will sweep out underneath it all the mess, rust, rubbish, everything swept out. And coolers, front of the coolers masked up, just stop the paint going in the fins. And that kind of crack, plenty of hours of hardship put in, but we're getting there. It'd be nice to see paint on it, and it won't be before time because the sun is shining outside, if you can see peeping in under the door, and it's getting very close to bog time. But yeah, that's it. So you can see our collection of grinder discs that John is sweeping up there. I have no idea how many's in it, but there is quite a few, between little zip discs, grinding discs, mop discs. There's other discs we're using there as well, cleaning up. What are them discs called, John? What are them discs called? The ones nylon discs. Great for polishing besides a mop disc, because it doesn't scar the paint or the steel. This is an example of what was done with it there now. Lovely smooth finish. You think you're doing a great job with a mop disc till you hit it with paint and you just see all the scarring on it. So yeah, getting there slowly but surely. Tightened up the rollers, well, the bottom rollers, hape them loose. Not very loose, like, but just needed a squeeze because it's hard enough. Like, these are the bolts here. We'll never have better access again until we're changing the rollers. But hard enough to get access again when the tracks are on. So, anything else to show you here? Not really. That's kind of it for now. What have we to do next? Small bit of sanding and ready for red. We're we're waiting for plates to be bent for here. A couple little brackets, and we have this stuff is already painted. We had to mock it up and bore out the hinges and stuff. We actually welded the hinges on up here. It was the handiest thing to do, but all that takes time. That's the battery box. That's the new flooring brackets for the batteries in here. With a kind of a cushion as well that was there before. That's going back in there. That's for closing toolbox, and that's just a support for the top lid, because when you're stepping from here up, it's only whatever 3mm plate or whatever it is. Just support from your step here on top of it, you don't crush the plate down. So yeah, there she is. Yeah, I might show you a bit of sand in here. Now, that's our last bit of sanding on the whole hopper. Yeah, last bit of sanding, thanks be to God. Deadly little tool, Milwaukee battery sander. It's John's series tool. You just put on the pads, different grit. That's 80 grit. It's good rough grit for getting under paint and that. Even those stickers on the front, and it just peeled them off. But just for any you might know, the reason why you sand before you go painting is like to give the paint a grip, to roughen it up if you have a rough grit sandpaper, and also to take, like, that was all chipped. If you've seen, take notice before I started sanding, that was chipped. And when you paint over that, you'll see all them chips. They'll stand out more than ever. But this was badly chipped here, so that was just rubbed off with the grinder. There's no need to bring it all down to bare metal, no need whatsoever. There's good primer, good paint there already. Just scuff it up, give the new paint a grip. Like that doesn't even need primer now. Like if there's a bit blows onto it, it's no harm. Bare metal, that all needs good coat of primer or two. But yeah, that's it. There's the maze of pipes and that. There's one or two pipes you might spot and say, why haven't you them covered? But they're old pipes, they need to be changed, so there's no point covering them and changing them after the job. That's it. Floor is all covered up. One or two final bits to mask out the back, and that's that done. And floor's covered up. Just keep paint off everything. Even there, like the pads and that, when they're half overspray and blown on, just looks a bit rough. Like for the sake of probably 15 minutes took to roll out the brown paper. It's no big job, but yeah, that's the story. Going to leave it at that for today's video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you'll see us painting very soon. We're painting now very soon, but it'll be a separate video. So anyways, yeah, cheers, and we'll catch you in the next one.